Looks like my dad had a pretty good day yesterday. He was over here helping out, getting cleaned up. I originally thought he was just going to prepare everything for, getting all the ceiling that we took down on this side of the house out to the dumpster. They brought the wrong one for us yesterday. They were supposed to bring a 20 yard, but they brought a 14, so we had them take it back. They're gonna bring the 20 over today. But it looks like he took the time and got the rest of the ceiling down. We got all the lath up here ready to take off. Probably gonna throw a lot of this stuff away, but might keep some of it to do some reclaimed lath artwork. This stuff is over 130 years old, so it could look pretty cool, but a lot of it's extraordinarily damaged. We walk out the front door over here. Got some wires hanging down. Got all these trash bags, another bundle of lath. All this stuff needs to go to the dump. Hopefully the dumpster comes soon so we can get it all filled up. Alright, so we're waiting for the dumpster to get here. It's getting a little bit late. I have to go to work early today for a meeting, so I'm probably going to head out of here. I was going to try to scoop up as much of the plaster as I could, but unfortunately we're out of trash bags, and not only that, the plaster is a little bit easier to get out of the house if you just keep it in the trash can and throw it in the dumpster. So we kind of need the dumpster to be here in order to get the plaster out, but that's not a big deal. It should be here a little bit later today. I might come back after work if I can leave early. Probably not. But got all the laths down on the ceilings, the pieces that were still hanging up, and I also picked up a huge pile of them off the ground that would make scooping up all the plaster and stuff a little bit easier. Wanted to show you guys something. Originally, when we first tore apart the house, a whole bunch of remodeling had been done, and a lot of it was extraordinarily shoddy. But I just noticed something that kind of gives me a little bit more faith in how the house is built. I know some of the original details were probably not the best, but this one in particular I thought was good, so I figured I'd show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so if you look right here, we have right there is a stud. Goes to not really a header, but it goes to a horizontal piece. But that stud lands directly underneath a set of ceiling joists, and the one next to it, and the one next to it, and so on and so forth. So this one has the ceiling joist right above it. This one is missing because the previous remodeler cut it out. And then, as you can see, the original stud goes to the original ceiling joist and on. And then there's a missed one right here. So I actually used what was left of the original stud on this one that goes above the header, and you can actually see where it was originally nailed in. I didn't have a way of cutting those nails off before, which is why I just bent them to the side and kind of centered it. You can also see next to it, this stud was completely missing when we took it apart, but again, the nails were still there directly underneath the ceiling joist. And the stud for our new door opening. And then we have this stud on the flat, again, directly underneath the ceiling joists. And then this one is missing, but the nails are still there. That's because the original one was removed. And then I put an old piece of 2x4 that was adjacent next to it. So because this does not have a double top plate, when the ceiling joists land on the single stud top plate there, it has a chance, if there's nothing underneath it, to bend. So I need to go back, get some probably Simpsons header hangers, and just hang 2x6 headers where the stud no longer touches the ceiling joists. So looks like I'm gonna need one right there, so 2, 3, 4, and 5 sets of header hangers. This one I hung a huge header. There were nails underneath there, but this was a large door opening before. Anyway, it was never really framed back in. You can see that in one of my first videos, what that kind of looked like, where they basically cut these 2 ceiling joists right there, and just didn't nail anything to it. They had a chimney and that was about it. So this is the big pile of lath that I picked up off the ground and pulled off the ceiling today. You saw that a little bit earlier, and hopefully the dumpster gets here soon. The rest of this plaster can get picked up. And then the next thing is this room right here. The floor is super sloped and uneven. The house settled at some point down towards that far corner over there. And there's been a whole lot of layers added on to the original subfloor. So you can kind of see where they moved the wall at one point and then put subfloor all the way around it like an underlayment. There's linoleum in there, there's ceiling tile in there. So that's gonna gotta come up soon. Probably as soon as we fill up the dumpster with all the insulation, we're gonna start cutting this out. So stay tuned for that in a future video. We'll see how far we take that down, depending on how much of the underlayment we take out. We might have to take out the underlayment on the entire house and just redo the OSB. That'll give us the opportunity to put vapor barrier underneath the in the crawl space, because right now there is none, and the crawl space is so shallow that you can't really get underneath there. So yeah, once we get the underlayment out from the back room and the original flooring is exposed, or at least the original subfloor is exposed, we can decide what we're gonna do. The floor right now is 2x10s spanned almost 22 feet. So it's definitely overspanned, and there's some softness due to cuts for utilities and whatnot. So we can probably take that opportunity to shore that up, put a beam under there, get a little bit of the deflection out of the floor, and maybe sister up some 2x8s or 2x10s in order to get everything nice and flat. Just kind of depends on the amount of space that we have down there. Once we get to that point, then we can decide what we're going to do. Hopefully that'll happen sometime this week. Then it all depends on if we have enough space in our dumpster after putting all the bags of insulation that you guys saw, and the lath. I'm thinking about doing some art projects with the leftover lath, maybe do an accent wall. I saw some of those. I'll post a picture of those here in a sec. And finding a way to reuse it rather than send it all to the landfill. I mean, it is decent. I think they're cedar laths, about a 1/4 of an inch thick, and 130 years old. So they're probably pretty dimensionally stable. We can have some fun with those as a future project, maybe as some decorations for the house once it's complete. But yeah, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways, I will see you guys on the next one.